This is our server monitor plugin. It's very basic information, mostly about the actual server and also some of the hits that you're getting. So it'll tell you how much disk space you have, memory, swap file, which may or may not apply to you, the average load, uptime, which is how long the machine you've been on has been running since a reboot or a shutdown, how many people are currently connected to the website, last time admin logged in. That should be pretty recently. If it's something that you didn't log in, you would want to take a look at that. Login request total, page speed average. Then you've got a directory breakdown. This is how much each of the directories are. So if you start to run out of disk space or have any problems, you can take a quick glance here and figure out what is eating up all of your room. A lot of times it might be the upload directory, if if you're uploading a lot of images, or maybe the plugin if you have tons of plugin directories. Here's a graph chart of basically the same thing. This does a scan to make sure there's not any unusually large files floating around. These are your top slowest pages. So this goes by your average load time and then finds the slowest one. So the green ones here are going to be the fastest. The darker the colors get, the worse the load times are. You might get stuff like this where you can see it's the user feedback. That's sometimes you're just going to get stuff that randomly shows up here. If a bunch of people hit your server at the same time and it takes a little bit longer to load, or if you're running a script in the background like a cron job's running that takes a lot of resources, that might slow things down. So not everything here is something to worry about, but it's just something to keep an eye on. If you see the same page over and over again, like this one is a plugin page, and you might want to wonder, why is this running a little slower? Or is it just because there's a bunch more stuff on it? Again, these times are not huge. If you see something that's really big, that's going to be like 21,000 milliseconds, that might be something to be more concerned about. These are broken links. So basically, these are just links that people have tried to go to that don't exist. A lot of these are people just trying to scan your site for known exploits. These are all direct links. What you got to be worried about is if you have a referrer. That means if your own referrer is going to one of these, that means you have a link that refers to a link that doesn't exist. So you can keep an eye on this to make sure you don't have anybody clicking on links that go nowhere on your website. And obviously you can see where they go. These are just recent slow requests and recent requests in general. And that's about it. So it's basically just a quick glance at your system to make sure everything's healthy and nothing is showing, any big problems. Like I say, you could just quickly look here and see if there's any huge top slow pages. Also, you can you could do this last hour if you want to see just what's happened very recently, or you can do 168 hours. And also, you can clear logs out that are too old. These do get saved in your database, so if you just leave these forever, eventually they'll start taking database space up. But again, it's just text, so it's nothing huge, but you may want to clear them out. There's not really a lot of use for looking at logs that have been around for weeks or months, so it's just a way to clear that out.